All right, let's get right into it. A massive shift is underway in the crypto world, and all signs are pointing to what could be a great wealth transfer on the horizon. We've been digging into a brand new market research report that outlines a huge change in strategy heading into 2026, and we are going to break down the key findings for you.
And we are kicking things off with an absolute bombshell. According to this report, the smart money, we're talking the big institutions, the seasoned traders, they've stopped piling into Bitcoin. So think about that. If the biggest players in the game are no longer buying the king, where's all that capital going? That is the billion-dollar question we're going to answer today.
So, first things first, let's talk about Bitcoin, because its role in this whole ecosystem is fundamentally changing. It's not really being treated as that speculative, get-rich-quick asset anymore. Nope, it's maturing, it's growing up, and it has a totally new job now.
And this right here shows you exactly why. The scarcity is just undeniable. 94% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist is already out there. There's only this tiny 6% sliver left to be mined. You know, unlike dollars or pounds, you can't just fire up the printer and make more. The supply is hard-capped, and we are getting incredibly close to the end.
And this scarcity, it's hitting the open market hard. The amount of Bitcoin you can actually go out and buy on an exchange like Coinbase or Kraken is at a 6-year low. And why is that? Well, because people and institutions are buying it and immediately yanking it off into cold wallets, basically their own private digital vaults. This is creating what analysts are calling a massive supply shock.
So you might be asking, who's hoarding all this Bitcoin? Well, it's the big fish, the huge institutions. We're talking giants like BlackRock and Vanguard, who now control a staggering 12% of the entire supply. And the direct result of that is that for the average person, for you and me, the dream of owning one whole Bitcoin, it's quickly becoming just that, a dream. Retail is getting squeezed out.
So here's the big takeaway from this section. Bitcoin's new identity is digital gold. The report predicts a slow, steady grind up towards $180,000. It's becoming that safe, stable store of value, kind of like an insurance policy for your portfolio. But those insane, face-melting 10x returns of the past, according to this analysis, that era is over.
Okay, so if the smart money isn't chasing those wild Bitcoin gains anymore, where is it going? Well, it's flowing into the next layer of crypto, where a truly fierce battle for the throne is taking place right now.
Think of it like this. On one side, you've got Ethereum. It's the OG, the established king of DeFi and smart contracts, the old guard. And then, in the other corner, you have Solana, the young, hungry challenger, the so-called Ethereum killer, known for being lightning fast and super cheap to use. It's a classic underdog story, and it's playing out in real time.
And wow, this chart right here, this is the smoking gun. For the first time ever in crypto history, and for 30 days straight, the trading volume on Solana's decentralized exchanges has actually beaten Ethereum's. This isn't just a one-day fluke, people. This is a sustained trend. It's a seismic shift that shows where the users and the money are actually going.
So, what's the spark that lit this fire? It's not just hype or speculation. The catalyst, according to the report, is a massive real-world use case. Solana Pay just went live on Shopify globally. That means millions, literally millions, of merchants can now accept payments directly on the Solana network. This isn't just theory anymore. It's a huge spike in actual, tangible, real-world utility.
And here's where it gets really juicy. Let's talk numbers. Analysts in this report are putting out a price target of over $850 for Solana. Now, how do they get to that number? Well, they argue that if Solana can just manage to capture half of Ethereum's current market share, which the data we just saw suggests is already happening, that's the valuation you land on. Pretty incredible.
All right, let's talk about the final piece of the puzzle, because none of this is happening in a vacuum. There's a huge macroeconomic force about to pour rocket fuel on this entire fire, and it is coming directly from the central banks.
Look, we've all seen this movie before, right? The Federal Reserve cuts interest rates. That makes it cheaper for everyone to borrow money. All that cheap money then floods into the system, and it has to find a home. It's looking for returns, and where does it go? Straight into higher risk, high reward assets like crypto and tech stocks, which then tend to go parabolic. And, well, just yesterday, the Fed confirmed a 50 basis point cut. The cycle is starting all over again.
And the report does not mince words. It has this super spicy take, and I quote, "Cash is trash." With interest rates falling and the money supply about to expand, just holding on to cash means you are actively losing buying power every single day.
The analysis argues that the only real way to protect yourself in this environment is with hard assets, like Bitcoin, and decentralized technology, like Solana.
Okay, so let's put it all together. We've got Bitcoin becoming digital gold, Solana making a run for the throne, and the Fed basically turning on the money printer. What in the world are you supposed to do with all this information? Well, the report synthesizes all of this into a clear, actionable investor playbook for 2026.
Here it is, a 3-step playbook. First, hold your Bitcoin. Don't sell it. Think of it as your portfolio's insurance policy, your digital gold. Second, accumulate the challengers, specifically these high-speed layer 1s like Solana and an up-and-comer called Sui 2.0. This is where the report sees the real explosive growth potential. And third, watch the AI crypto sector. You've got to keep an eye on projects that are merging artificial intelligence and blockchain, like Render or Tau. These are flagged as the next potential 100x home runs.
So let's just end on this one thought. This report makes a really compelling case that a major shift of capital is happening right under our noses, from old, traditional systems to new ones, from the incumbents to the challengers, a great wealth transfer. And the only question it leaves you with is, are you ready for it?